What up, guys? Today we are using the reworked Power Fist, and I definitely wanted to use this with Bulwark, considering Bulwark now has a really good perk for charge attacks. So Power Fist has a lot of charge attacks. I feel like you can't go wrong with the Power Fist right now. As far as this Bulwark build, I do have Intimidating Aura, so a Fencing Power Fist is going to be able to do a lot of melee damage and protect me with parries, which is nice. I've been actually really enjoying fencing weapons recently, but whenever I jump back into blocking feels really fun also. And I am using Purity of Purpose. This build right now really kind of gets carried when it comes to higher difficulties with Purity of Purpose when it comes to some of these mobs. Even though the Plasma Pistol is very good and the Power Fist is very good, you can get swarmed. You can definitely get swarmed, especially in situations like this where I have a teammate who is low. Oh yeah, and yes, I know you see the red bars. Don't worry. Right now, connection feels pretty good, at least for me. Definitely let me know in the comments how connection has been good, or how connection has been working with you guys recently. I hope it's been good. But yes, this was during the connection issues when the patch released. This is a Prestige 1 Bulwark, and right there you see a quick charge attack, which even if I get a charge attack, I can combo with some light attacks, and the perk setup I have also supports that. And ultimately, this Bulwark is doing a lot of damage, but I am not invincible. I cannot survive what just happened there. So yes, we are jumping into this operation with a Mortal Wound and a sniper teammate who is at 1. We do have an assault bot, which is like okay, and unfortunately, and honestly, I understand, the sniper does go down, and then they left. I can imagine they were likely dealing with some connection issues, and then we also had that Spore Mine wave, which was a little insane. But I was actually pretty determined to still finish this operation for whatever reason. That Guardian Relic, I have to admit, definitely helped out. But yeah, I was definitely interested to see how far I could actually go with this Power Fist Plasma Pistol Bulwark build. As long as I have Purity of Purpose, I felt pretty confident that I was going to be able to get through some of these mobbing situations. And yes, right there is a pretty good tell of how powerful Power Fist can be. I was basically able to bully that Major because he was just continuously being stunned, and basically getting any sort of shots in with the plasma, the plasma pistol makes it really easy to get them into executionable status. And the Melta part, I always enjoy doing this part. I never really mind picking up the Meltas, for the team and getting the tunnels done. But yeah, this operation does unfortunately turn into a solo operation for the rest of this run. So I am planting these Meltas alone. I am trying to close up these tunnels by myself here, and sometimes, yes, these detonation issues happen. This does not happen for me anymore. I have to, yeah, this was before the patch 7.1 hotfix. Again, definitely let me know if the detonation issues still persist on your end, but as far as the last couple days, I've been able to get through this operation without this problem, which is an insane problem to have. But hey, look, 2 Meltas. So that's cool. But still, I was not able to take out that sniper. And now we just have 1 tunnel left here. And so far, the Power Fist really impressed me. The Power Fist has basically received a few buffs ever since the game released, and it's definitely good to see, and I definitely was impressed with the charge attack damage. Also, just the mere fact that you are able to stun the Majors is kind of huge. Like, the Power Fist definitely can consistently stun Majors, and I definitely like to see that. And yes, we are on lethal here, so this is high difficulties. You definitely have to be careful about getting swarmed by Gaunts because they can chew down your health bar pretty fast. Yeah, basically just staying armored up in high difficulties is where you want to be as far as survivability. So, frankly, Banner is always going to be good on high difficulties just because it can, refill your armor. And not to mention, with Purity of Purpose, you're definitely going to get a lot of extra damage, which is, ultimately where you want to be with Bulwark. You want to be able to tank and do damage. You don't want to just stay with, one. You don't want to just tank. You don't want to just do damage. You definitely want to be able to defend yourself and also tank some damage. And with this situation, you can see the shock and the extra area of effect damage from the Banner stack up pretty cleanly to take out a good amount of those mobs, and then it also puts me in a position here where I'm able to get some charge attacks onto the majors, and yes, we are able to get that objective. However, I'm getting pretty much swarmed here. You do see the spore mines in the background. That is such a good animation right there. And I'm trying to just make it out of that room alive before I get too swarmed. Those spore mines, all it took was one spore mine there, and I would have been comboed out on. And unfortunately for me, it does not get better when it comes to, hazards and, status effect in this situation, because I'm going for the brain, and I do have the bone sword there. I was able to take out pretty quick. The plasma pistol is so good with the fencing weapon. The power fist ultimately was getting some really good damage there, but if you're able to get some damage out of the Banner with Purity of Purpose and then also get some charge attacks in, that's where you want to be. There I use a stim right there because I thought that I was going to be able to just pick up the stim behind me and leave, but as you can see, there's a lot of vine mines stacking up pretty fast. So I do luckily pick up that stim, even though I failed it right there. There it is. I finally picked up the stim. And, dude, look at all these vine mines. That is insane. I definitely just leave that room. I'm not interested in fighting in that room. And now we have a Trigon Prime fight in lethal, solo, with a, plasma pistol, power fist build. I really do think there is not a bad Bulwark build right now, to be completely honest. Like, everything is working really well together with Bulwark. I have to give, credit to the patches that we've received with melee, because now it feels like Bulwark just has a lot of options. You can use the plasma pistol, you can use the bolt pistol, you can use the heavy bolt pistol. The Neo-Volkite recently is buffed, and then not to mention all of the melee weapons you can use with Bulwark. Bulwark does not have a bad build right now. Even under-leveled right here, you can see the plasma pistol getting some good damage in. Oh, yeah, making sure that I'm able to dodge under the Trigon Prime there. Now, I do have Banner. Banner does kind of protect me. If I do need some armor, I can just drop Banner, which is nice. But unfortunately, I do get hit there, and it would have been cool if I was able to get my contested health back. But yeah, the Trigon Prime just left. Now, the bots are definitely, they were definitely catching some aggro there, which is cool. Making sure you dodge those dives, it's like the biggest thing when it comes to the Trigon Prime. You pretty much need to dodge the dives, and when he's in this situation, he's going for the, the double swipes. You can parry both of those. I definitely should have parried that second one because I would have been able to get a gun strike, which is like really the only good way I can get damage on the Trigon Prime, unless I go for a banner drop and some melee attacks and kind of stack that together. But the Trigon Prime, even though the Trigon Prime is interested in, melee damage and, jumping after you and stuff, the Trigon Prime is still really good at running away and, being very agile. Oh, there it is. There's the gun strike, and you can see the damage on the, on the boss card right there. That is basically the best way I'm getting any damage during this fight. The charge attacks are still pretty good, but, being a under-leveled Prestige 1 Bulwark in lethal, going solo, this boss fight definitely goes on for quite a bit. I was actually pretty hyped at the end of this. This was one of the first like good runs I had for the patch, where I kind of felt like I knew the the route I was going with leveling up my prestige for Bulwark. I knew Purity of Purpose was really good for higher difficulties. I knew Intimidating Aura was going to help out a lot. A fencing weapon, regardless if it was the Power Sword or the Power Fist or the Chain Sword, a fencing weapon with the Heavy Bolt Pistol or the Plasma Pistol, you cannot go wrong with when it comes to higher difficulties when you are leveling up your prestige with Bulwark. And now at this point, I'm getting pretty close to Prestige 3 with Bulwark. Of course, that Prestige 2 perk where you can, block damage and get your banner back quicker. That Prestige 2 perk is pretty good, so I'm excited to definitely show that one off. And I'm also excited to get to Prestige 4 on at least one class soon. I've been jumping around classes. I've been even jumping around platforms. Obviously, this is on console. And normally I've been playing on PC since the patch dropped, but I've been playing on console just to, level up my Bulwark. I kind of like playing on both. It honestly really doesn't matter too much. I think the PS5 Pro plays really well when it comes to Space Marines 2, because Space Marines 2 does have a PS5 Pro patch. And I know some people commented, hey, you could just use a paddle on PC, which, perfectly fine. I definitely can play Bulwark with mouse and keyboard, so I'm not too worried about that. And honestly, the paddle that I have, the controller, the controller paddle, whatever. What I have for PC is a PS4 paddle. I kind of like that PS5 Pro paddle a little bit better. So maybe I could just hook that up with PC and just do it that way. It really doesn't matter. When it comes to Bulwark, obviously mouse and keyboard is going to work with this game no matter what. But using the controller with the, the sword and board, or in this case, the fist and board, the fisting shield here, for whatever reason, just using a controller in that situation just feels, I don't know, just at home, essentially. Like, I think maybe it's just because I play Souls games with a sword and board character. Maybe that's why it feels a little bit more comfortable to me to play sword and board with a controller. But still, with a mouse and keyboard, you're going to be aiming better, which is nice, and obviously just getting gun strikes is going to be easy. Just, generally just aiming is going to be easier with the mouse and keyboard, so regardless how you do that. I don't know why I'm shooting the plat. I don't know why I shot that Melta. I could have saved that. Maybe it was bugged and I just wanted to, get it out of my input selection there. But still, we are getting this boss fight down, even though it is going a bit slow. It is like a level 13, level 10 Bulwark, something like that. Yeah, there it is, level 10. Thank you. Level 10 Bulwark in Lethal alone. This is a solo run, technically. And, going through the patch, I'm definitely excited to see how strong the Plasma Pistol is. The Plasma Pistol and the Power Fist went really well together. I feel like I was charging my attacks quite often, and the charges for the Plasma Pistol feel very fast right now, and the Plasma Pistol just hits very hard. And the same goes for the Power Fist, considering, I do have the extra charge attack damage with the Power Fist. And the Power Fist has just a really good, set of combos with the charge attacks, and it just really just goes really well together with Bulwark, especially with the Prestige 1 Bulwark. So I would suggest, if you do end up using Prestige 1's, the extra charge attack, I would suggest just going with the Power Fist. I know it works with a lot of the other melee attacks, but there's some confusion based around what is, intended or not. So regardless, Bulwark is still in a really good spot. That is likely kind of a reason maybe why Bulwark doesn't have a bad build right now. It's just melee weapons are in a really good spot overall, but then maybe Bulwark is, Bulwark just does a lot of damage now also, considering the, the heavy bolt pistol and the plasma. And I still have a Guardian Relic here, but I do use a stim. I haven't used Icon in so long. I feel like I haven't had Invigorating Icon in a higher difficulty operation since like patch 6, I have to be completely honest. So that is why I'm definitely excited to see my Bulwark get to max level. Honestly, these past like this past like day, I will say, I've been playing a little bit of the Oblivion remaster or whatever. It's been fun. It's been casual, but like when it comes to, you know, feeling that you know, the feeling of the like battle, Space Marine 2 just delivers the best experience for, you know, actual battles and gameplay. The melees in Oblivion Remastered are fine. It's just, you know, it doesn't feel like this game. There's really not combat out there right now that feels like this game. So that's honestly really why I enjoy playing Space Marines 2 quite a bit. Even when I jump to other games, it's really just for me to just like relax. But yeah, sometimes I want to fight like this where it's going down to the last minute here. Like honestly, this whole operation definitely was like 30 minutes or something, and I am definitely getting a little bit tired. I have been getting it, you know, I've been slipping on some of those dodges there, but I'm trying to get this trap going. You know, basically making sure that you can drop a Melta on the Trigon Prime is one of the best ways you can make sure you get through this boss fight. I dropped the banner there. Remember, I am getting damage from that banner. That banner is doing area of effect damage, and the Trigon Prime, as soon as he lands on top of me, he is done. And we were able to solo this operation under leveled, level 10 Bulwark on lethal. Yes, it is really nice that the connection issues are fixed, but that Power Fist is still going to do a lot of damage with the current patch, and so is that Plasma. We were able to get around, you know, 15,000 damage, which is nice. We didn't see too many specials, which is kind of crazy for lethal. I did run past a few. But hey, you know what? Regardless, we got hit with Spore Mines early, but we were still able to get through the operation with a lot of damage.